Alright you guys, so codename BubbleGum update. So I haven't really showed it. If you're following me on Twitter, you've seen the pictures already, which if you aren't following me on Twitter, that's a good way to kind of get the updates and visual updates on stuff like this, because it would be too short to make a video just to show you what it looks like. But basically I'm going to show you guys my progress. So that's the Cooler Master 212 Evo. We got the RAM down there. As you guys can see, I did a really good color picking, I did a good job of picking out the colors. So you can see that shade of blue matches that shade of blue, which is what I was aiming for. So then we have the MSI R9 270X right there, painted. That's Wi-Fi for now. It's not going to have that when it's finished, but for right now I don't feel like running a 70-foot Ethernet cable to my room for this, so I threw a Wi-Fi router in there. To download all the updates and stuff, I'll actually point it towards the router. Maybe it'll get a better connection. I haven't really had a problem with it, but as you can see, it is sitting on a pheonix side panel window, which I had purchased because it was actually cheaper to buy the window and then the case than it was to buy the case that came with the window in it, believe it or not, for reasons I do not know. The reason it's not in a case right now, as you guys can see, we got the parts. I'll explain that later, but I'm going to go through the parts list for now. We have this, which I just finished painting, custom fan grill, which is going to go on the back fan right here. Once I get the case and stuff, I can paint that fan and put that on there. This isn't really part of it. That's just, I have a few hard drives that just have a shit ton of programs that I use on my computers. So, for instance, whenever I redo a computer or something, I can just go on that. It's got anything from video editing software, downloads to drivers, mostly drivers, a lot of like the antivirus programs and stuff I use. I keep it all on that drives. Well, there's like 3 of them, and then a few flash drives as well that have a bunch of stuff, and they all have stuff from Firmark to Prime 95 to performance test, like Ada 64. It's got, like, you know what I mean, that's how so I don't have to even connect to the internet to get all my stuff up and running. It's on there. So for the parts list, we have an 8320. We have G-Skill 1866 with a cast latencies of 8, 9, 924. The MSI R9 270X, Cooler Master 212 Evo. The 8320 is running at stock speeds. I'm not going to overclock it because this thing is silent, and I'll turn it on in a second. We have a SanDisk solid state drive, 128 gig. I recently just put this in one of my PC builds, by the way, the one with the 970 or 960 in there. So I can tell you guys right now, haven't benchmarked it or anything, but from standard use, I don't see any difference for the most part from boot up and opening up programs. This opens up just as fast as any other SSD I've used. It was only 50 bucks, so not a bad deal. Then we have a Seagate 2 terabyte drive right here, which you'll be getting. Lucky her, I guess, getting that Seagate. Everything's just on the desk right now, just kind of flattened around. And then we have the power supply, which is an EVGA 580 plus, 500 watt. Works out just fine. I mean, like I said, this is the one I have in my brother's computer, and I really like EVGA. Whenever I search power supplies, I always look EVGA first, because on top of them being cheap, like I said, I own 4 of them right now, and not one has failed on me. Especially like my computer pulls like almost 600 watts of power from a 750 gold, and it does that a lot because, I mean, between rendering and Grand Theft Auto and Crysis 3 gaming and stuff for, you know, hours on end, my power supply has never failed me. On top of extreme overclocking, from having this 8320 up to 4.9 gigs to having my i7 4790K up to 4.8 gigs. That power supply has not failed me at all, so I really like EVGA's power supplies. And I think that's basically it for the parts list on this thing. There's still more stuff coming. Hold on. I got these. So, this is a 6-pin extension. As you can see, I've already taken the cap off and I stuck it on this end so I don't lose it. But it's just a PCI extender for the GPU, because I don't like this loop. And then these will be getting custom sleeved. That's why that is off. I'm going to be sleeving these. I'm not going to take this off and sleeve the whole wire because I don't really care. I'll probably stop the sleeving right up to the tip of here and then just electrical tape it on or something, because this part's not going to be seen at all, so I don't really care what it looks like as long as the top half of it's sleeved. That seems like a lot of extra work to pull this off, and seal up both ends for not really any payoff, because you're not going to see this part. So I have extensions for the 24 pin and the 8 pin as well that will all be getting sleeved. I don't think I'm going to sleeve this fan header. I was going to, but I don't think I really care to, because this will be stashed off to the top of the case, this wire right here. If not, I bought 30 feet of pink wire, 20 feet of blue, and 2 feet of every other size they had. So the 20 and 30 feet is of 3 millimeters, and I bought 2 feet of, or 4 feet of 4 millimeter, 4 feet of 6 millimeters, 2 feet of 10 millimeters, 4 feet of 20 millimeters. Like, I went up the chain and I literally bought every size, so that way I can sleeve as many wires as I can, like the SATA cables, maybe, like I said, the fan header, maybe the other fan header, because of where it's going to have to route through for the case fan that's going to be right here. So I made sure I stocked up on wire so I could sleeve anything I needed to. Maybe even have to sleeve some of the SATAs, who knows. So I got the sleeving just in case. What else do we have here? Oh, we have this. This is what I use. It's got a Windows 7 disk in it. And it's got your power to Molex and your SATA, because it's one of those plugs, which is not your standard drive plug. So this is easier. This is basically my new floating optical disc. It came out of the laptop, and I just kind of plug it into any machine, and now I can boot Windows off of it. So I use that. And what else do we have? We have this. This doesn't even work anymore. I don't know why. It just randomly stopped putting out video. So this is a, I'm trying to read it off the camera. Sorry, where does it say what this is? 645X. Oh, it's an HD 6450. So this is a really low-end GPU that basically can just get you a picture uploaded on your screen. So I don't know. This thing has been giving me shit and not working. So maybe I'll take it apart and throw it in the oven and see if it works like the other one did. Who knows? And we have a Xbox One controller and a Surface tablet that I never use. And all of this is also sitting on my 17-inch laptop, which I never use. As you can see, it's all like, it's got a custom top on it though. It's not a sticker either. That's like the actual, I had to take it apart and put this on there. It was like 50 bucks for it, but it looks super cool. So see, it's not a sticker. It's got the Dell logo. But yeah, so that's codename BubbleGum's update. I'll give you guys more when I get the wires. Maybe I'll do a quick little how I'm going to sleeve these. There's other things like that, but this is going to be not a pushover computer. It's not going to be top of the line, but I mean, a 270X8320 and a SSD will definitely build you a quick computer that can handle some good gaming at 1080p. So that's basically what I wanted this thing to be able to do. It's going to be on the TV, so let's turn it on so you guys can hear how loud this is. Yeah, I'm going to be jumping it. If you guys ever want to know how to jump your computer, basically there's 2 pins right here, which are the power pins. Just take a screwdriver and just touch them together. Oh, well, power supply should probably be on before you do that. There you go, power supply's on. So you just take a screwdriver and just beep, and there you go. Now it's on. So drop the screwdriver. So the camera's right next to this. You might be able to hear the fans, maybe. If I'm more than like 3 feet away from this computer, I can't hear the fans at all. So yeah, it's pretty silent. Let's hit enter and do that. So one of the things that I did invest, hold on one second. Alright, so one of the things I invested in, because this will be used on a TV, not my TV, but the person it's going to be going for their TV, and because they're going to be using it on their TV, I got them one of these. Actually, I got myself this, but I'm going to be giving it to them because I never used it. I've used it like twice. So as you can see, it's got a little touch mouse pad and then your keyboard, and it's wireless. So I'm not gonna lie, I do like these things. So you have your on. Oh, you have my Xbox. It's actually in pieces, by the way. I was actually thinking about trying to put an SSD in here. I'm not sure. I'll try, see how that works out. But anyways, I actually like this because then I just use it like it's a controller, and like I just use my thumb right here and just kind of move the mouse around, and that's how I use this thing. So they come in handy. I don't want to block the power supply. They come in handy for that that situation where you're far away from your computer, and honestly you don't want to have a mouse and keyboard just dangling off And a wireless keyboard and wireless mouse is awesome, but if you lose the mouse, that sucks. This one has the mouse just attached, so when you're randomly game browsing or web browsing and stuff, it's easy to use. Not to mention, this will be a gaming computer, but it'll be hooked up to her TV. But she uses an Xbox controller, so like literally almost every single game she plays is capable of using the controller just fine, like GTA, Left 4 Dead 2, Dying Light, Dead Island, even DayZ has controller support now, so she doesn't really need a mouse and keyboard. She just needs this to select the screen and select, you know, web browsing and select the game that she wants to play. So that's basically all that's going to be used for. So as for temperatures on this thing, since it's not overclocked or anything, running Furmark and Prime 95 at the same time, as well as running Ada's stress test to stress test the memory. So like, I was running all three of them at the same time because I really wanted to stress the system out and make sure everything was good to go, because it's going to be getting shipped off where I can't touch it anymore. So I was running everything at the same time. I hit a max of 55. I also ran everything individually too to make sure that the temperatures didn't fluctuate. They stayed the same. So I hit a max of 65 on the 8320 at 3.9 gigahertz. I think it went up to 4, like 4 and some change, because of the weird self overclocking this thing does when it turbos itself. So it went up, you know, to 4, and it had what was it? It had 55 on the cores, and or 55 on the CPU package, and only like 48 on the cores. So that's really low for that. I'm not worried about it. Not to mention it remains silent. Now the MSI GPU is what really impressed me. Running Furmark for an hour and a half, it only hit a max of 80 degrees, which is actually kind of hot, I would say. But the fans never went above 22%. So the graphics card was at 80 degrees and completely silent. So that was really crazy, because my 280X Toxic with 3 fucking fans by Sapphire, as soon as that thing hits 70 degrees, it jumps up to 60% fans, and it sounds like a vacuum in my computer. So this computer is going to be completely silent, even if it's fucking hot as shit. It's going to stay silent, so that's nice. And with GTA, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that game will push your GPU pretty crazy if you turn all your sliders up like I do. It'll definitely push your system and make it want to burn up. Like I said, my GPU hovers about 73 degrees while playing that game, but that is at 1440p. Population density, population variety maxed out, view distance completely maxed out, and everything on high, very high and ultra settings. So that's why it gets my stuff so hot. But I mean, she's going to be playing at 1080p at probably about high settings to medium settings at 60 frames per second. Without VSync on, we'll try to average around 50 with not dipping below 50, and it probably won't go above 60. So that's where I'm going to aim when I'm doing. Like, I'm going to even download some of the games for her and pre-adjust the settings for her, because I want to make sure that you're getting the best experience that you can out of these. And that's, if you guys don't know that, that's one way. If you don't want to rock VSync, turn up some graphical settings and make it a little bit better looking. It'll kill your frame rate a little bit, and that's what you want to do. You want to fluctuate your frame rate with your graphics, like how they look. So for instance, if I'm getting over 95 frames per second, I'll bump up a few sliders so I can turn VSync off and stay under 95. So as long as I don't go below 60 frames per second but don't go above 95, that's a good range for me, and I don't have to have VSync on. So anyways, you guys, that's Codename BubbleGum's update, and I'll give you more. Oh yeah, quick thing with the case. Oh my god, that case. So if you guys remember in my last video, I mentioned that I was having a huge issue with ncix. They refused to process the order because it was on her card. She paid for the parts, but it was getting shipped to my house so I could build it. They didn't like that. Even though her bank said it was okay, even though she added my address to the bank, even though we did all of this stuff, like calling the bank, calling ncix, back and forth, took them 2 weeks to process it, and I still had to put it on my card to pay it, and she pays me back. So it basically took them about a week and a half to process the payment, 2 weeks to process the payment, and I'm just now getting, you know, the power supply and the SSD, and they were supposed to ship me a pheonix Comrade case. If you guys see, that's the side panel I purchased for it. But apparently in the amount of time it took them to process my order, the case sold out and is now on back order. And they did not tell me. I found this out by getting a packing list with the stuff I ordered. So if you see here, this is my packing list. So it's like, ordered these 2 things and that 3rd thing. So they're like, okay, well that's on back order. This is how I found out it's on back order. 3 weeks after I bought it, I get a letter that says it's on back order. That's kind of bullshit because I've already been waiting weeks. Not to mention I bought the case. And when I did buy the case, it was not on back order. They had them in stock. So because you guys took so long to do your whole business with processing my order is not my fault, and I should still be able to get my product because you already took my money for it. And then not to mention, on top of that, what really got me mad is they didn't even tell me. When I went to go switch the account payment through my card, they didn't even say, oh, well, one of the things is on back order now, so it might take a little longer to get here. They didn't tell me that. There was no notification whatsoever, and I would not have purchased this case or the case window for it or custom acrylic stuff for it if I would have known that it was going to take so long, because this computer needs to get done and shipped out. I can't be sitting here waiting, you know what I mean? So I'm really upset with them right now, and I kind of have to have a Pheonix Comrade now because, like I said, custom stuff for it that I've already spent money on. I'm very much not happy with ncix, and I probably won't be buying too much stuff from them anymore, which is sad because this is like my 3rd SSD from them, like my 3rd or 4th power supply from them. I've bought my brother's case. I've bought my i7 through them. Shit. I've just, like, literally ncix, I've bought a lot of stuff from. I've actually turned my friends over to buying a lot of stuff from them. And believe it or not, my friends do buy a lot of stuff too, just like I do. So, I mean, it's really sad that I'm, like, at the point of boycotting them for this, because this isn't the first time they've done this to me. It's the first time I've had that issue with the back order problem, but it's not the first time they've denied my payment because of some stupid reason. They've denied my PayPal account. I can't use my PayPal account with them for some reason. They tell me the addresses don't match up, which is stupid because the addresses do match up because I've been living in the same house for 3 years, and anything I buy with PayPal gets shipped to my PayPal address, and it's the same as my billing address. I know that because I've done all of that setting and stuff like that when I moved here 3 years ago. So I don't know why they do this stuff, but like I said, it's really turning me off of them, which is really sad because I do like the deals they have, but I'm not going to be dealing with this kind of stuff, you know what I mean, whenever I'm building a new computer, especially for one that I have to ship out to somebody and I have a time limit on. I can't be doing this kind of thing. So I actually have to call them and tell them, like, what are you guys going to do about this? Either give me my money back or let me know that the case is going to be here in the next week or 2 because I can't wait any longer. I've already been waiting 3 weeks. And that's a really sad waiting time for something that was in stock when I had purchased it. You already took my money, and you didn't even notify me that it wasn't in stock anymore by the time you processed it, which is sad. But anyways, you guys, codename BubbleGum update. There'll be more to come. Catch you guys later. If you guys really want to keep like updates on pictures and stuff like that, go to my Twitter, because there are occasional pictures and stuff that go up of this stuff, and it's an easy way to just like kind of look at what I'm doing instead of having to watch these long ass videos. Well, anyways, you guys, I'll catch you guys later.